Right, guys, here we are, MMA UK News, Stoomboy as always. So, talking about Rise and Conquer. Now, Rise and Conquer is going to be on the 1st of October, so we're only a couple of weeks away. It's going to be at the Rainton Arena. Now, ticket sales, anybody looking for tickets, make sure you do head over to the Rise and Conquer Facebook page, and it will take you through their booking system. There's also going to be pay-per-view on this as well through Live MMA. So again, anybody looking for the pay-per-view details, then again, head over to Rise and Conquer Facebook page, and you will get all the details from there. Now, if you have a look at the page as well, I mean, this lineup is absolutely awesome. I mean, we've got some absolutely unbelievable fighters from all over the UK and further afield are going to be in the Rainton Arena on the 1st of October. So, unbelievable card. As I said, it's Rise and Conquer always put on amazing cards, always amazing fights. So obviously this one is no different. So yeah, make sure you are there watching it or on the pay-per-view, because this is going to be absolutely brilliant. So now my next guest is going to be on the show that night. So Liv Taylor. So Liv Taylor of TFT MMA. So obviously Team Fish Tank. So going to be up against Federica Di Filippo. So obviously a bit of a mouthful there. So Liv's unbelievable. As I said, we were talking about this. This will be Liv's first fight back in 3 years, obviously COVID and so on. And when I was saying, I remember you back in the day, because although it was only 3 years ago, but yeah, back in the day, Liv was absolutely awesome. I've said absolutely loved watching her. So it's going to be a joy just to see her back in the cage and enjoying it as she did before. So Liv, listen, absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for obviously taking the time to speak to me.
No worries at all.
How have you been? How's everything going then, training wise for you?
Everything's going great at the minute. I feel like I'm just starting to peak. Like I'm feeling really good. I had wrestling this morning and a pad session this morning. I felt absolutely amazing on the pads this morning. Just feeling great, to be honest. Like, I've got a lot of training partners, females, which I never used to, like back in the day. I probably had one girl maximum to train with, if that. I've got like loads of girls now. So I feel like my training's just coming on really well.
That's what I was going to ask you about, because obviously, again, obviously you've been in the game for a while. So obviously you, as you mentioned there, obviously you when you came into the game, there wasn't many females, if any, that were training, whether it be in your gym or even close by. So, but now we're seeing, especially post-COVID, we're seeing a lot more females getting in, not just in the MMA, but obviously we're seeing a massive rise in females coming into jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, which is unbelievable. I mean, it should have happened a long time ago, but as I said, women are starting to see the benefits of MMA or jiu-jitsu or any kind of martial art at all.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, I've got two girls at my gym now. I've got Katrina King and Simone Abley. And like, I remember being the only girl and like just having like lighter lads to train with, but even then I didn't really fully benefit from it, because you never know if they're going 100% with you or letting you get things. Or so now I feel like it's just really competitive rounds all the time, which is like amazing. Yeah.
And we were seeing it in jiu-jitsu and grappling, because obviously we had Enyo put on the first all-female grappling event, and then we saw Grapple Kings just a couple of weeks ago put on an all-female event in Ireland as well. So do you think that's something that MMA might pick up on as well, maybe do an all-female event?
One of my friends, actually, Lexi Rook, just competed on POFC, and as far as I'm aware, that was just full female MMA card. That was in Canada, I think. And that was really like great to see, just all females fighting on the card.
Yeah. That's it. It was absolutely brilliant. I mean, it was brilliant watching, like, say, Enyo and seeing Grapple Kings, or Grapple Queens, should I say, because they changed the name specifically for it. So, but it was brilliant to see, and as I said, all the females coming out, and they absolutely loved it to be part of, obviously, a historic shows. So, obviously, hopefully, maybe we'll see an all-female event, MMA event, in the UK at some point in the near future.
Yeah, that'd be amazing, I think.
Yeah. And what about because obviously you're training. I mean, obviously you got, as you mentioned, Katrina and so on, obviously training with them, but obviously you do go out and train with other women as well, not just obviously Katrina and that, but obviously other females come in as well.
Yeah, so we've had a few girls from Scottish Hit Squad come down to us, and then last weekend me and Simone went up to Scotland and trained with some of the girls there and got our rounds in, because some of them are quite short, and I think my opponent's shorter, so I've been trying to get more rounds in were shorter females. But yeah, they're all very scrappy, hit hard, just exactly what you need, really, really aggressive, competitive rounds.
Yeah, yeah. That's Scottish females. I mean, Scottish females they're all small. Every one of them small, and they're very, very scrappy. So
yeah, my last opponent on Rise and Conquer was from Scottish Hit Squad, and she was like a tank. Yeah. Obviously, I had the range, but she was short and just scrappy. But yeah.
Nah, that's it's brilliant. I'd say that. Hopefully, we'll see a female event, MMA event. Obviously, any promoters watching this, man, get it sorted, because it's definitely something that needs to happen. Not just that, but I mean, we talked about. I was talking to a couple of females before, Grapple Queens, and they were saying that not just having an all-female event, but even having like a male, no, an actual event where you've got half male, half men, half women on the card. Okay. So, do you know what I mean? So having, like, let's say there's 20 fights, you'll have 10 female fights and 10 male fights. So
no, definitely.
Yeah. So
I feel like Rise and Conquer, I think there's 2 or 3, maybe 4 girl fights, and the rest are male. So yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. What's it like then, going to be in there with most of your team? Because obviously you're talking about 14 members of the TFT MMA team are going to be on Rise and Conquer on the same night.
Absolutely insane. Like, my last one, when I fought on Rise and Conquer, that was a home show and everyone was fighting. I just remember as soon as I'd fought, I was like, oh, adrenaline dump, but then I wouldn't go through it back up and watch everyone else. But yeah, I mean, like with me and Katrina's said, oh, she would be in each other's corner since we train, like, we'd do like 2 sessions a day with each other. So we obviously know each other really well and help each other out. And she was like, should we corner each other? I was like, yeah, we need to make sure our fights are close together though. So we can warm each other up and stuff as well. But yeah, I mean, Nathan Haywood, he's done a lot of work with me in the past, and he was padding me this morning. He's like, I am in your corner, right? And I was like, yeah, but you're fighting a few fights after. So it is complicated having us all on one show, but I think it's great because it brings everyone together. Like, the environment, the gym at the minute is just amazing since everyone's got a fight.
What about the weight cut? Because obviously I've been laughing with a few of the fighters at TFT saying that you're going to have 14 fighters all cutting weight at exactly the same time. Now, anybody that's ever cut weight before knows that we don't like it. We do not like it at all. So, how's it going to be with the weight cut?
I feel like all the lads are pretty chilled out about their weight and like cutting because they've done it a lot before. Obviously, I used to fight at 52. I'm fighting at 59. I did want to do 61 for my first one back to have a bit less weight to cut. But I couldn't really get a fight for sure. I was struggling to find anyone for me. I don't know if it's because I've had so much time out or so I took a 59. But I've not got much left to cut really. I've got about 3 kilos.
Nice.
So it shouldn't be a hard cut. I've never really done a water cut. I've water loaded. But all the lads have just been like, oh, we're all just going to help each other out. Like, you'll be fine. Some of them are like, you're stressing about that. I've got this amount. I've got double or I've got triple. And I'm like, oh. But yeah, everyone's pretty chilled out about it, to be honest.
Listen, I've heard some, obviously, 7, 8, 9 kilos. And then when you say 3 kilos there, I'm thinking, wow, that's 3 kilos. But even at 3 kilos, I mean, obviously at the lower weights, if anybody's ever cut weight before, even at a lower weight, it's more difficult to cut weight at a lower weight than it is at a higher weight. So
I mean, I've always been one to stress as well about like my weight and like getting down, because I was like to Fisher, what should I try and get down to? He's like, try and get down to 62, 61, and then we'll just cut from there. But yeah, it's different for females as well, obviously. So all the lads are like, oh, I've got 8 kilos, and I'm like, oh my god, totally different for females. We couldn't cut that amount, like.
Yeah. Nah, listen, you guys all make weight. I'm 100% sure of that. So, and then, what about this matchup then? So, how did this come about for you? Because as we mentioned, last fight was 2019. Obviously, we mentioned COVID and stuff like that. So, how did you find out then you were going to be on this Rise and Conquer?
I was going to be on the last one, but I had to pull out due to health issues. And then I was going to try and get a fight in the summer, but I had a few plans and stuff. So I just thought, no, I want to fully focus on this fight. It's my first one back in 3 years. So Fisher was like, do you want to do Rise and Conquer? I think that would be the best one for you, because I was doing Simone's rounds and Katrina's rounds at the start of the year, so that was just getting me back into routine for fighting on this card.
It's good as well going to be on a home show in front of
Yeah.
your people. Do you know what I mean? So rather than travel, because I know you've travelled all over for MMA fights, so to actually be on your home soil in front of your own people is going to be amazing as well. The return of Liv Taylor in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, I really enjoy the home crowd. It's always great. Like, it's insane.
Yeah. What about you? If you had a dream match, let's say you could fight anybody at all, past or present. So, who would you love to be standing in front of in a cage?
That's a tough one, that. I feel like I had a really good fight with Lauren Bellis. This was
Mhm.
years ago now. I lost on split decision. But we had a really scrappy fight. I think that was my first loss. But it was just a really good fight. We both really enjoyed it. It was just a scrappy fight.
Yeah.
But I mean, I fought Anna Gall at the IMAFs as well, and I felt like I was dominating that fight. I got caught in an armbar, and I thought I got the armbar off, and then I sort of turned the wrong way and it went back on. So I'd quite like to go up against her again, because she's probably like one of the best people I've fought, because she's like won gold multiple years in a row now.
Yeah.
So I would quite like to fight her again.
Definitely. What about any kind of, let's say, like top fighters, like any Ronda Rousey, Amanda Nunes, anybody like that? Would you love to stand in
Um,
front of one of these people at some point?
Obviously, she's retired now, but Joanna, I used to love Joanna. I just thought her striking was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
But I mean, Wheelie's the same, so I mean, both of them would be pretty cool.
Joanna was the queen of MMA at one point. So, as I said, was the absolute queen. Nobody could touch her. As you said, you talked about her striking. Her striking was definitely one of the best strikers ever in female MMA. So, so yeah, listen, as I said, she definitely put on the show whenever she turned up, win or lose. I mean, you never ever seen Joanna in a boring fight at all.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. Maybe one day, maybe you can tempt her out of retirement. Maybe one day. Like, Joanna, let's have one more round. One more. Let's go.
She'd definitely kill us, like, but.
And then, obviously, what's next for you then? So, obviously, Rise and Conquer. Obviously, the return. Obviously, that'll be your main focus. But what would you like to see yourself doing going forward? Maybe for the rest of the year, even 2023.
I've been thinking for the rest of the year, probably just grapple comps I want to do.
Yeah.
Just compete a bit more in grappling. I got offered. I had a girl from Ireland message me as soon as she saw my Rise and Conquer. She saw I was back fighting. Was like, "Will you fight me in December?" Or it might have been November, and I was like, "Oh, maybe I would in December. So maybe I might fight again in December. But if not, probably early next year, I think."
Yeah. Nah, listen, it's definitely going to be a joy to see you back. As I said, I know how much you enjoyed it. So obviously to see you coming back and obviously putting on a show again, and then as you mentioned, grappling as well. Going to be out there grappling. So hopefully we'll definitely see you out there at some grappling comps as well. Maybe some submission onlys.
Maybe, yeah. I was looking at the new one near me. I think it's Northern Submission Series.
Yeah.
Katrina competed on that, and Amy from AVT, and I think that looks quite good to get involved in. That
was awesome. That was absolutely brilliant. Obviously, the first one at the Roker Hotel was insane because it was packed. The venue was too small. I don't think they anticipated. Carl and anticipated that it was going to be as busy as it was, and then obviously they then moved to the point, and then that's when it was like a proper. Do you know what I mean? They had fire going off. No, MMA, because obviously Ant and Carl both coming from an MMA background, so there was definitely an MMA feel to it. So when you walked out, and you stood on the X, and then behind you, you had all the fire going off, and do you know what I mean?
It was like a fight.
Yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, maybe see you on a Northern Submission Series at some point in the near future. So, and then final thing for you then, Liv. So obviously been in the game for a while. Again, over the years, you've had some amazing training partners and still do to this day. But anybody you want to shout out to, friends, family members, teammates, anything like
that? Probably all the females I train with, so the likes of Katrina King, Simone Abley, Georgia Hackland from Scottish Hit Squad, coming down and doing rounds with me, even though she hasn't got a fight, like just to help out. It just shows we're all there for each other, females. Lanchana Green, I've done a lot of training with her over the years. She's been coming to ours for wrestling, and she's just a really good training partner to have because of her experience. But obviously Fisher, Nathan Haywood, we went the IMAFs together, and he's always just been there for me and like padded me and helped me out whenever I needed it. But also like sponsors, so like CBD Life, they send me stuff all the time just to keep me in nick for training.
Nice. So there we go, guys. We're going to have Liv Taylor, TFT, so Team Fish Tank MMA, going to be up against Federica Di Filippo. It's going to be on the 1st of October, so Rise and Conquer. It's going to be at the Rainton Arena. Anybody looking for tickets, as I said, head over to the Facebook page, so Rise and Conquer, and you'll get your tickets directly through there. We mentioned about the pay-per-view. It's going to be on Live MMA, so anybody looking for the details, again, on the Rise and Conquer Facebook page. The price for the pay-per-view, £10.99 now, for the amount of fights that you're getting and the level of talent that you're going to be able to see as well. That is an unbelievable price. So make sure you do get that. This is going to be awesome. I mean, there's all the Rise and Conquer shows in the past have always been amazing shows, and I'd say this one is definitely going to be no different at all. So Liv, I'll be down there on the 1st, so obviously Andrew and Katrina invited me down, so I'll be able to come down and obviously hopefully get a chat with you, and obviously going to be brilliant to see the return of Liv Taylor.
Thanks so much.
All right, well listen, enjoy the rest of your training and we'll see you on the 1st.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.